Welcome to Board Games with Niramas. Today it's time to continue this top 10 list for KeyForge. And we come to the end of the houses, so this is the 7th and the last house, which is Untamed. And Untamed is really cool. They sort of are known for being able to generate a lot of amber. They also have a bunch of pretty good creatures and sort of presence on the board, and yeah, there's a bunch of good cards in here. Really hard to pick as usual, but I had to try, and here we go. Let's start with number 10. And number 10 is a creature called Witch of the Wilds. This is a rare one, so you don't see it that often. I don't think I have more than one, but it's power 4 and has a passive effect. So during each turn in which Untamed is not your active house, you may play one Untamed card, and this is just so good to have this one out, if it can survive, of course, because then you choose some other house and you still get to play a Untamed card. That could be really nice. There's a bunch of good action cards and so for Untamed and play effects and all that. So yeah, I really like this one. But as I said, it's rare, and yeah, I mean, it's really good, so it makes sense. And I don't think this will show up on that many people's top list, because of course, there's always this, it's so hard to pick. And there's always this argument to be made, well, you know, how long will it last? How long will it stay alive? But maybe you can protect it somehow with some taunt guy next to it or something like that. So yeah, Witch of the Wilds is my number 10. And my number 9 is Nipple Queen. This is a creature with 6 power, so it's really strong in itself. Also, it gives the passive effect of each other beast creature gets +1 power, and each other nipple creature gets 1 power. Well, friendly, which is important there as well. Friendly beast creature or friendly nipple creature. Nipple, I don't know what that is really, but this is Nipple Queen. There's Nipple Apes, and there's a bunch of beasts in the Untamed deck. So there's a lot of ways to. There's a lot of other cards that would benefit from this one, and if it's like a Nipple Ape, he's both a beast and a nipple, so he gets +2, which is awesome. So if you have this one, I think I have one deck with this one and 3 Nipple Apes and some beasts as well. Really strong board presence in terms of power, and it's really strong in itself as well at 6. So that's why Nipple Queen is my number 9. At number 8, we have the action card Lost in the Woods. It gives you a free amber, and when you play it, you choose 2 friendly creatures and 2 enemy creatures, and you shuffle them into their owners' decks. And this can be really helpful, especially this is really annoying if your opponent put out some upgrades on his creatures and so on, or protected them well, and then you just play this one and they go back into the deck they shuffled in. It could also be good for yourself, because you might have cards that you want to get into that deck and be able to bring out later again. Maybe they have strong play effects, or maybe they or damaged a lot. You want to get them out of there, get them in the deck, and get them out healthy later on as well. So Lost in the Woods, I think, is very good, and you do as much as you can on a card. So if you don't have like 2 creatures, then you do. If you have 1, then you shuffle that one in, but you can still shuffle 2 of the enemy creatures in their deck. So yeah, there's a lot of uses for this one. Lost in the Woods. I also love the artwork and everything there and the name. That's my number 8. And my number 7 is Witch of the Eye, a creature with 3 power. When she reaps, you return a card from your discard pile to your hand, which is really good. And I was sort of between this one and the action card, whatever it's called, that lets you return a creature from your discard pile to your hand. But this one is better because it's a card. It doesn't have to be a creature that you bring out. So if you have this one, I think I played when I had 2 of these, and they were able to stay alive, and I could reap with both of them and get 2 cards from my discard pile back into my hand. I mean, there's a lot of ways to combo on this. There's some crazy combos where you can get back things like yeah, that lets you do a key and so on. And yeah, there's a lot of cool combos here with being able to bring back a you know, just go through your discard pile, just pick up the card that you want. It might, you know, preferably be an Untamed card, because then you can play it right away as well, because you have Untamed as your active house, right? And of course, when you reap, you get that amber. So yeah, I like Witch of the Eye. She's a bit weak though, so once again, you need some kind of protection or so on. But yeah, good one, my number 7. And my number 6 is an action card called Fertility Chant. This one gives you 4 free amber when you play it, but your opponent gains 2 amber. So this is of course a bit situational. You want to do this, I mean 4 is just so great to get from one card. I think it's the most in the game in one action card. But of course you're giving your opponent 2 amber as well, so you want to do it in, you have to time it so that you don't mess it up for yourself. But yeah, it's a good way to catch up as well. If your opponent has a bunch of amber, it doesn't matter if he or she gets 2 more, right? But if you get 4, maybe that's what you need to do that, to forge that last key in your next turn and so on. So I think Fertility Chant is a cool card, and that's my number 6. And number 5 is on the same track, sort of. This is basically netting you the same amount of amber compared to your opponent. So Dust Pixie is a creature, which is good as well, because she's out there, or he. I'm not sure what the Dust Pixie is of gender, but anyhow. So Dust Pixie has 1 power, gives you 2 free amber. And these are also common, so you can have like 2 of these, or 3 I guess, and get a lot of amber generation that way. And Untamed has a lot of free amber, as it's called. Free amber is basically when you get amber for just playing a card. Yeah, so that Dust Pixie, nice one. I had to include it here, and it's my number 5. And at number 4 we have Nature's Call, an action card. It gives you free amber, and when you play it, you return up to 3 creatures to their owner's hand. And as you can imagine here, if you have those 2 previous ones, or 3 in total, maybe 2 Dust Pixies and 1 Fertility Chant, you play those and you get a total of 8 amber, right? Then you play no, they're not the Fertility Chant. Anyhow, you can play some creatures like Dust Pixie that gives you amber, then you play Nature's Call, you pick them up, you play them again, and you get amber once again. Some crazy combos here. Just the other day when I played, I think I got 14 amber in one turn from doing that kind of combo with Nature's Call. That's a great action card, and that's one way to use it. You can also use it, of course, if your opponent has some strong nasty creatures out. You can play it and force him to pick it up on hand, which, if they don't have play abilities, they might have really strong like reap abilities. Well, then he has to play them again and wait another turn until he can actually use them to reap. So you slow him down that way. And there's other cards as well that you might want to pick up that have good play abilities that you can play them, use this one, pick them up, play them again. That's why I love Nature's Call, my number 4. And at number 3 we have KeyCharge, which is one of these rare cards. Well, it's not rare in itself, but it's a rare ability that when you play it, you get to forge a key in mid-turn. And this people figure out some combos here, so they can play this one, pick it up and play it again if they have enough amber, which they can have with Untamed because they can generate a lot. And so there's like this 1 turn, you can win in 1 turn and all that crazy stuff. But I think KeyCharge is a cool card, really nice. You have to lose 1 amber and then you can forge a key. So basically normally a key costs you 7. So if you start your turn with 13, or if you can sort of, you make 1 at the start for 6 and then you spend the other 7 to do this one. It's so good, and of course it's really good because it's a way to surprise your opponents as well. You're not really normally expecting someone to, if they have 2 keys, you want to stop them from at the start of their turn having that amber that's required to make your key. But here you can just make it right away and you win. KeyCharge, really cool card. That's why it's my number 3. And at number 2 we have the same effect once again, but this time it's Santa Claus basically, I think. Shota Hasri. He's a creature with 3 power, and he does the same thing. Lose an amber, and then you can forge a key at the current cost. So of course, if you have this one and the KeyCharge, you can play them both if you have enough amber. I thought this was a little bit better though, because this one it's actually a creature and with power and so on. He can reap later on and so on if you need to. Of course, to do that sort of again, the card we talked about earlier, where you can just pick up your 3 cards from the board and just play them again. Well, you can do that with this guy as well if you have enough amber, but you might have, because you can generate. There's a lot of crazy combos in Untamed and ways to forge keys very fast. If you have the right cards in your deck and you can combo them in a good way. Of course, you need to get them in your hand as well, in the right combination, in the right order, which it's a bit of luck, of course. But yeah, I think this one is cool. I really like the artwork and all that as well. It just looks so cool. I think it's Santa Claus. My number 2, Shota Hasri. And at number 1, my favorite card from Untamed, because I just love how you can use this in so many good ways. It's an action card called Mimicry, and when you play it, you treat it as a copy of an action card in your opponent's discard pile. So if your opponent played a good action card, then you can play this one and you can do the same effect. And there's a few reasons why I love it so much. First of all, it's just fun. It's just nice to just copy something that your opponent did. That I like that stuff. But I mean, if we're talking about like trying to win a game, this is awesome, because this is also a way to set up combos that normally doesn't exist. Like, I don't know, let's say your opponent played Library Access, for example. You're playing Untamed, but you can play this one and copy the effect of Library Access, and now when you play all your other Untamed cards, you get to draw cards. Maybe you draw more Untamed cards and you can keep playing those. So yeah, this is a way to just sort of mix houses as well, because there's no restriction on what house action card you are copying. Yeah, so Mimicry is just so cool. Like the artwork as well, really cool snakes there. And yeah, it's my number 1 for Untamed. And this was the sort of last last episode of this top 10, these 7 different top 10s for the 7 houses. Almost feels a bit sad to end this, but in a few days we will have one last video on KeyForge top 10s or so on, where it's going to be top 7 houses. I'm going to rank these houses and tell you what my favorite house is and why, and also, you know, why my least favorite house is my least favorite house, all that stuff. So that's going to be fun. It's going to sort of end this top list series for KeyForge. I'll probably be back in a while as well with new KeyForge videos. There's probably going to be, at some point, they're going to release more cards and houses and all that. So then I'll be back, of course. And I also have some ideas on some doing some digital recording as well. Perhaps we'll see what happens in the future here. But thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you will watch the next one as well. If you want to see all my KeyForge videos, there's playthroughs, there's unboxings of displays and so on. You can just click the little link up there to go, just click the I to go straight to the playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening or morning whenever you're watching. Take care. Bye bye.
Breathe in. Look into these eyes. Subscribe to the channel. Now, exhale. Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.